What it do, homies? It's your boy Dave, and I'm back today. We back with some more SABATON. This time we're checking out Long Live the King from the Carlos Rex album. Okay, now we could go down here, and it looks like this one is about, it says on November 30th, 1718, Charles of Sweden was killed by a piece of metal that pierced his left temple during the siege of Frederiksting. The circumstances of his death are still unclear to this day. So that's interesting. A piece of metal. I'm thinking, like, first thoughts, probably shrapnel, right? But, you know, grenades didn't exist then, but things certainly did go boom. Anyways, let's go ahead, shut up, and turn it up. Okay, I love the way that it began. It wouldn't make sense for this song to start off like really fast forward, you know, not fast forward, but like fast pace, right? Because we're talking about death here. It's obviously something that's really sad. I love the way that they kind of opened it up, which what sounded like pads, how it kind of came in and it had more of a kind of an ethereal type of dream, right, state, you know, as to signify, you know, he's died and his body is no longer with us. It has risen and it went where else it needed to go, right? But of course, we want to include, you know, this is a metal song, so you got to kind of throw in the guitars in there. But you got to be gentle with it. And sometimes it's not always about just playing stuff low. Sometimes it's just the technique that you use. So I loved this swell. I kind of just swelled right into it, like it's like the beginning of crying. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people when they cry, they just go bah, but most of the time it kind of just starts off low and then it just turns into one big old huge wail, and that's what it sounded like, right? Going up, starting this, it kind of sounded like slowing into a wail, and it was just cries, but it still got that hint of metal to it. And of course, we still got the pads that are still giving us those ethereal vibes. So very interesting. Let's keep it going.
Seldom shattered by a bullet in the dark.
A bullet, okay.
Rulers come and rulers go, will our kingdom fall apart?
You know, guys, I said that I don't think grenades existed back then, but yeah, 1718, actually, I do not know the history of grenades, so it very well could have existed. Guns did, but the grenades, it's not far-fetched. I'm pretty sure they did now that I think about it.
And rulers go, will our kingdom fall apart? Who shall we now turn to when our leaders lost their heart? Lives are lost, but at what cost will the grand dream fall apart?
I love how he said that. He said, where will we turn to when our leaders have lost their heart? Now, he said the emphasis on the word leaders, right? Plural. So leaders lost their heart. Specifically, you know, their leader, their king is dead and everything. But that also, it kind of throws like a blowback, right? It disturbs the morale of everybody, because when you lose the main head, then what's going to happen? You know, all of a sudden everybody's up to their own devious devices or whatnot. You know, they all, you know, they kind of separate, you know, who's going to be king now. So I like that when he says lost their heart, right? They lost, first they might have lost, you know, the centerpiece that glued them all together, but also they may have lost like the common goal that all of them shared. So that's wonderful.
Wow.
flawless. I love the vocal performance, right? It's got a definitely whole lot of like dynamic range, but it's kind of like lonely for roll. I love that. It still has that sense of sadness to it, but it's got that power behind it as well. Now that I got a little bit more context, he said, you know, did it? I just right now I just kind of assumed that it was obviously the enemy. They just don't know who, but they actually don't know if it came from the enemy or friend. And that's not something that somebody probably does know, and they took it to the grave. You know what I mean? It probably was a whole team of people who know. But since he was such an important figure, nobody wants to take that blame. So that's tough. That's tough. I feel like, you know, he said nobody knows. And I'm pretty sure a lot of historians have their theories and everything. Well, some of them probably got really, really strong, compelling arguments. But I'm thinking that maybe it was friend and that it was just a simple accident, right? I don't know. Battlefields are hectic. The siege, and it was a siege at that.
Brought him back to Sweden, where we put him in a chest. Years of war and agony, now the king can finally rest. What will be uncovered from that cold November night? Fredrik's Hall, what happened there? Will it ever come to light?
I mean, at this point, with it being 300 years, right? Is there anything else we can learn from it? Right? Because I feel like the best opportunity to learn about what happened would have been at least within the first 10 years or something. But 3 years, things have aged, you know, stories have been altered. You know, that's generally how it goes when it comes to history, or unless it's like written down, which I'm pretty sure probably a lot of things were. But even then, like, what's to stop people from tampering with it, right? Tampering with something that's documented. Is this something that we will ever know, you know, without some type of glorious time machine? Right. So it almost makes me want to go and start doing some research on the theories. Right. Because that's what it is. That's what they will be. That it has to be theories. It can't be facts unless they could back it by something that's actually factual. But, you know, I'm ignorant in these type of ways, but it's definitely got my head scratching. Beautiful solo, beautiful. And, you know, sometimes it isn't, I mean, obviously the technique is as important as, you know, whatever you choose to play and everything. But I like how I was kind of playing with the different type of effects and everything. Some of those tones almost kind of sounded of a transparent nature, including especially the last half of that solo. There's something about the mix. I don't know, like I don't know what it is, but that makes sense, right? Because obviously tears were flowing. So it's kind of like a transparent tone, like a transparent guitar solo. like water falling. That's what I'm getting it at, right? It definitely sounds like water.
Long live Herodes, brought by soldiers' hand.
I'm gonna tell you something. As you guys know, or if this is your first time coming to one of my channels, I do read each and every one of my comments, and honestly, I've learned a lot from you guys in the comments just as much as I've learned some stuff from SABATON. I'm interested. Okay, I'm highly interested, and knowing SABATON, they probably do have something like this on their history channel where they talk about the type of stuff that may have killed it. But I'm interested in diving a little bit deeper in this because it's going to live in my head rent free about how he actually died, and I would like to at least hear from people well more versed than me as to that. And I know that's probably going to result in a bunch of wall of text from you guys, but make the wine. You don't have to apologize for that wall of text because I like to read it. You know, we here, I'm committed, right? I'm what, 60, almost 70 SABATON songs deep. Like it's safe to say that I am committed. So definitely leave that down there. I will be reading each and every one of them. Okay. That's the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and subscribe. Dave's out.